I was like, I couldn't find Gannon. I was like, the guy was still in the house. Lena was on the way. I didn't know where Gannon was at because I was calling for Gannon. I thought he was hiding. Like, I legit thought he was hiding in, like, maybe the other closet that was on the other side, the other, whatever. I thought he was hiding. Like, I was so scared. So I run up the stairs because I hear that, I know it's like almost time for Lena, and I hear that the Ring app had like an alert for someone at the front door, but it could have been just like Amazon or something driving by because there was nobody at the front door. And then I run back downstairs because in my mind I was like thinking, where is Gannon? And I didn't want to leave and like run outside and scream and go crazy because I did not know where he was at the time. And everybody says to me, because I told Albert and them about it, and they're like, why didn't you like run to go get help? And I didn't want to leave to go get help, and I was terrified because I know Albert would kill me because Gannon was still in there. Mm-hmm. So then when I get downstairs, he has the gun, and he has Gannon, and I'm sitting there like freaking out, like, okay, what do you want me to do? Blah blah blah. So Lena does make it to the door at this time, and then so I go upstairs because I know that he was like, don't say anything, because I didn't know if someone thought like he was a cop or if someone heard something, or I didn't know anything. So my thought process was, if I say anything, Gannon's down here, I need to just be as cool as possible because we order things on Amazon like all the time, books and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it was Lena. So the reason I sent Lena away was because I wanted her to be safe too. So I sent Lena on a mission to go get like the mail. Lena never gets the mail. No, nothing like that. I sent her on a mission to go get the mail.
Okay.
And so I just started making up random things for Lena to go do. And I looked at Lena and I said, she was standing there, I was like, just stay gone for a little while. Because I didn't want her coming back and then that's, like her in the situation as we were too. So like in my mind, I think if I say anything, if I do anything, I just didn't know what to do. I was in complete panic.
All right, Mark, what do you got?
Yeah. Okay. Here's why. We order stuff from Amazon all the time is the same for me as saying, I swear to God, I don't remember. Why might they be the same? Well, what she's doing so we order stuff from Amazon all the time, books and the like, is there is nothing bigger than Amazon in the retail scope. I mean, if we don't worship the gods that we used to worship, certainly we worship the gods of retail now. And in fact, they're owned by tech titans. And so those titans, live in the stratosphere. In fact, some of them even build vehicles to take them up to that stratosphere where we create names for them, like a titan, who the titans were the children of the gods. So those tech titans go back to their parents in the vehicles that they create. So she is naming something of super high status there and saying, look, we have a relationship with that, but it's hard to check the relationship because she's kind of going, check my cart, take a look at my cart right now. We do this all the time. Well, I can't check your cart right now. And then she lays down another social pressure as well to say, like books. Well, there can't be anything better, surely, in the world than buying, lots of books. There's this idea that, if you read books, if you have a relationship with books, that's a good thing. If you get a lot of books, well, that's either true or false or something in between. I mean, that's your thing, that's my thing. We can each decide on that. But I'm just very interested that this literal shopping list comes out of nowhere in the peak of the situation of saying, look, here's, I'm trying to describe the violence, the perpetrator, all of these things. By the way, we get books at Amazon like all the time. It's outrageous. And therefore, red flags sound off in my head. Greg, what do you got on this one?
Well, the reason that red flag comes out is because this woman is doing what she always does, and that is chaff and redirect. And I mentioned chaff and redirect earlier. Scott's wearing the shirt. If you don't know what we mean by that, when an aircraft drops all this garbage behind them and a missile follows it, or rocket, or any kind of munition follows it, then what you are seeing is chaff and redirect. And if a person spews enough useless information, you go, really? I love books. Now they've taken you off topic, and you can waste time, you can burn time. And a lot of evading interrogators is about avoiding time, hiding information. So what we see here is something that I always say another thing. The organism does what made the organism successful. I think she's a successful liar. And in her life, the way she's done it is by spewing out a lot of garbage, people picking it up and running. And when you're under duress, you're more liable to go back and repeat those old subroutines that you have been successful with than any other thing. And, you lay those down with 20,000 repetitions of anything puts a neural path. And those most pronounced are going to be the ones that come to the surface when you're under duress. Because we're back now to what Chase was talking about. The thinking brain is turning off and the limbic brain is responding to protect the being. And that's the part that takes care of the body and the being so you can reproduce. She's doing the prancer. She's doing this way, just throw information out and let the person try to get to you through all that information. But her flurry of details and normal speak coming up in the middle of this around stuff, Mark, to your point, that's why it seems odd. We buy this, we buy that, we buy spick and span, we buy whatever. It's out of place when there's terror going on in your house. But she uses it because it's what she's always done. And she's got her eyes locked on this person to make sure she's following. And then when she gets to a point where she's emotional and she starts to explain why she did something, emotion dries up. That's a rookie mistake. Every interrogator will go, okay, I know you're lying now. I thought you were lying before. I know you're lying now. She needs to explain why she sent her daughter out, because she sent her daughter out to buy cleaning supplies to clean up the mess that she had made killing someone. I'll leave it at that. And I'll leave it one thing. Barry Minko, most famous fraudster, 18-year-old kid who took a carpet cleaning business to IPO, actually made a movie about him, said to me one time, a fraud is the skin of the truth stuffed with lies. And exactly what you do when you say, yeah, I sent her out to do some weird errand just because I didn't want her to be home because of what was going on. This is a well thought out story, but she can't think out the fact that she's dynamic in her illustrators. They leave her body when she's talking about concrete things like how many drawers are on a chest or inside of a room. But when she gets to talking about the actual situation, her hands are doing the T-Rex thing again. Can't miss it. Chase, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot extra, but when she says, like I legit thought he was hiding, actually says those words, like I legit thought he was hiding. Says this multiple times. If you think your son is hiding, why are you terrified? Why are you scared? She says, I was terrified. I'm horrified, scared. You don't feel that way if you think your kid's hiding. And this is, I think, one of the most ridiculous liars I think we've ever had on so far. And there's so much in this clip here. I sat here for a while this morning going through it, just trying to even comprehend how monumentally stupid this all is. I had no idea what to write down. Like, I have a notepad here to write my notes down. I didn't even know, I struggled to write something down because I didn't know where to start. And she says this guy was still in the house here. This is made up storytelling. And here's the only tool that you need to see the deception here in this clip. Where is the detail? Where's the emotion? And where is the motive being explained? Truthful people don't need to repetitively state the motive for every action here. And she's saying he has the gun and he has Gannon. This would be described in detail. Absolutely. The look on Gannon's face would be burned into her mind for the rest of her life, and she would never be able to delete it. And then she says more storytelling. I think it's Layla, does make it to the door at this time. It's just classic BS. And this is kind of just meaningless garbage. The guy's upstairs, I assume, with her kid, which should be how every step parent sees it, stepkid, stepchild or not. She should see that as her child. And she's casually hanging around in the kitchen, sending her daughter on these errands. But wait, there's more coming up, and it gets better. Scott?
All right. Here's the difference in what Chase experienced and what I'm experiencing with these videos. The way it goes is Greg finds the story we're going to do. Then he goes through it and finds out the numbers. We call that cutting those up. And then he says, okay, from 107 to 423 or whatever it is, I get that list and I actually go in and cut up the videos out and get those ready. So what I've done was I go to the top and make sure I get where it starts right. I don't watch the videos all the way through. Then I wait till the end and I cut wherever the number is or close to it, wherever it looks like it's going to end. Then I put them in our little folder and they go up to Dropbox and we all get them. Now, I thought we were recording today at 5:30. So when I was just sitting down to start watching these, and I got a text in our Signal app that said, "So where's the link?" Because I send the link to everybody because I'm running the Zoom call. And I was like, "Oh, what are you? Well, I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about." And it's because we were going today at 12:30 or 12. Was it 12 or 12:30?
It was 12, and then I was up against a wall for time, and then it turned to 12:15, then 12:30. Yeah,
12:30. Okay, so I haven't watched these all the way through, but I'm experiencing what Chase experienced. I don't know where to start because as we're watching these, sometimes we just skip them and just come right back and do it. We're having to watch all of them, and I don't know where to start either. And these are just wonderful. So if I look a little more giddy than the rest of the guys as we do this, because I can't believe what we're seeing, I haven't had time to process it yet. Having said that. When we start this video, she's just puking up information, just throwing it up. I just puking it all over this detective. And she's just said she didn't remember anything. She didn't remember anything about that. She can remember what she was thinking. She can remember the thought process she went through as to why when she went outside, she couldn't go yell for help. If you think somebody's in your house with a gun, excuse me, you're going to run out. If you get outside, you're going to start hollering. Go for the police. And then if you're going to go back in, you go back in. She doesn't do that because her husband would kill her or whatever he said. Somebody would be mad at her. It just didn't work right. That is crazy talk. She's thought all this stuff out without going into the details because look at all the information she's given us about this thing. We have so much information about everything. And then all of a sudden she can't remember what happened. And she goes through and she actually is remembering what happened. She's telling us, like I said before, her thought process. I remember I thought, then I did this because, man. So anyway, after her crying and stuff goes away, there's no tears, there's no remnants of tears, there's nothing, no remnants of horror or grief or anything. We're not even seeing the expressions of fear on her face as she should be reliving this. She should be going through, and as she relives those flashes of stuff, you'll see that on her face. Saying it a million times, you have too. We're not seeing any of that. This is going so bad for her, she doesn't even realize it. Then she goes back and she starts adding on these qualifiers, the things she said earlier. I don't do this because usually Amazon comes, and who's thinking of Amazon and deliveries when you're talking about the most horrific thing that's ever happened in your entire life? The most horrible, nothing like this has ever happened to you before. It's new. Not only is it new, it's horrible. And you're talking like that? And her cadence is just like, she's on 10, just can't hush, can't get a hold of it. Now she's kind of freaking out. She's at that point where she knows she has to get all this information out, and she's excited, and she knows she's supposed to be projecting an excitement there. But as she does, she's saying way too much. She goes over the top because she's not adding the emotional part of this that we should be seeing on her face. She's still almost as she's talking to this detective. Usually, you're going to be slouched down. You're going to be crying. Your hands are going to be on your face. You'll be weeping, and you can hardly get this stuff out. Then you're going to be rocking back and forth. We're not seeing any of that stuff. I'll end there.
The eyewitness is you.
I was like, I couldn't find Gannon. I was like, the guy was still in the house. Lena was on the way. I didn't know where Gannon was at because I was calling for Gannon. I thought he was hiding. Like, I legit thought he was hiding in, like, maybe the other closet that was on the other side, the other, whatever. I thought he was hiding. Like, I was so scared. So I run up the stairs because I hear that, I know it's like almost time for Lena, and I hear that the Ring app had, like, an alert for someone at the front door. But it could have been just, like Amazon or something driving by because there was nobody at the front door. And then I run back downstairs, because in my mind, I was like thinking, where is Gannon? And I didn't want to leave and like run outside and scream and, go crazy because I did not know where he was at the time. And everybody says to me, because I told Albert and him about it. And they're like, why didn't you like run to go get help? And I didn't want to leave to go get help. And I was terrified because I know Albert would kill me because Gannon was still in there. Mm-hmm. So then when I get downstairs, he has the gun, and he has Gannon, and I'm sitting there like freaking out, like, okay, what do you want me to do? Blah blah blah. So Lena does make it to the door at this time, and then so I go upstairs because I know that he was like, don't say anything, because I didn't know if someone thought like he was a cop, or if someone heard something, or I didn't know anything. So my thought process was, if I say anything, Gannon's down here. I need to just be as cool as possible because we order things on Amazon like all the time, books and things like that. So it was Lena. So the reason I sent Lena away was because I wanted her to be safe too. So I sent Lena on a mission to go get like the mail. Lena, it never gets the mail. No, nothing like that. I sent her on a mission to go get the mail.
Okay.
And so I just started making up random things for Lena to go do. And I looked at Lena and I said, she was standing there, I was like, just stay gone for a little while. Because I didn't want her coming back and then that's, like her in a stress in the situation as we were too. So like in my mind, I think if I say anything, if I do anything, I just didn't know what to do. I was in complete panic.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.